Well, we first moved to the USA, all the way from Canada. And we drove across the continent, from Nova Scotia to Pasadena. My sister and me and my mom and dad, from the cold to sunny south. There were palm trees growing and it was not snowing, and I never did shut my mouth. Well, we drove on over to the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. Put our hands on a Bible and we swore as a family that we were not communists. When we drove away, I started to cry. They said, "What's wrong, son? Are you sick?" I said, "I don't want to be an American. I want to be a Catholic." That really happened, too. We talked Hollywood, baseball in the car. Hey, the voice of Jerry Coleman, man, it would travel really far. Jerry Coleman was the voice of the San Diego Padres. He also played second base for the Yankees years ago, but then he stopped playing to go fly planes and fight in World War II, and then came back and was a coach at the Yankees, and then came to the Padres, was a coach there, and then became the announcer. And he would say all this crazy stuff that made no sense, like, and he just slides into second base with a stand-up double. And when Tony Gwynn would make a great play in the outfield, he'd go, "Ho, ho, ho, doctor, you can hang a star on that baby." I loved Jerry Coleman. He died some years back. And Jerry Coleman thought I was such a weirdo, but for some reason he liked me. I don't know what it was, but he'd always go, "You're weird, but I like you." And so I flew out to see the Padres play the Brewers in Milwaukee, and I would sing my song 98 Pounder to all the players in the dugout. Bruce Bochy was the manager of the team. And then that night we went back to Bruce Bochy's room, and I was still drinking back in those days, and I threw his minibar out of his hotel window, and he got charged $867. When he went up to San Francisco and managed the Giants and won 3 World Series, I got to sing the national anthem on Memorial Day. And Bochy said to me right before I went out, he said, "Hey, Poltz, you still owe me $867 for a minibar. When you do the national anthem, don't do it too slow. We don't like to sit through a long anthem, but don't get all Mariah Carey on it either." When you make your first communion, they tell you you're going to eat Jesus' body. That's what this verse is about. I was the last kid in line, and I thought the leg would be gone, and I had to bug me. So the nuns had to pull me aside and explain to me it's just a wafer. And I was like, "Have you been listening to the songs in Mass, Sister Eileen? You hear the words of sons of God, hear His holy word, gather around the table of the Lord, eat His body, drink His blood." What do you think's going on, sister? Well, I made my first communion at St. Rita's Catholic Church. There was incense choking and a priest was smoking with the choir up in the perch. My face got red and my stomach felt bad. They said, "If you're gonna get sick, use a cup." Well, I thought by the time it was my turn for communion, Jesus would be all eaten up. Hollywood, baseball in the car. Hey, the voice of Jack Buck, man, it would travel really far. I was with Jewel at the height of her fame, and we were at the top of the arch in St. Louis. You could feel that thing blowing and moving around. And that night, we had a night off before our big show. And so we got tickets to go see the Cardinals play. And when we were up in the arch, we got a call from Jewel's publicist. And the publicist said, "Hey, Jewel, Mark McGwire wants to meet you." And this was at the height of the home run race with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa from the Cubs. And Jewel looked at me and she goes, "Who's Mark McGuire?" So she sent me down to meet him like I was Robert Duvall, like a consigliere in Godfather 2. You want to see the look of disappointment? Look at the look of disappointment in Mark McGuire's eyes when I came walking in instead of Jewel. Who's this fucking skinny long hair? So I said, "Listen, I'll let you meet Jewel if you introduce me to Jack Buck," because I always like baseball announcers. So I sort of traded Jewel for Jack Buck for a little while. And then I got to meet Jack Buck, and when Jack Buck called games, his voice wasn't like Jerry Coleman's tenor and reedy and tenoresque. No, Jack Buck's voice sounded like they got an auto mechanic on the hottest day in Tampa, Florida, and they ripped out Jack Buck's vocal cords and dropped them into a glass of 151 rum, and then set the vocal cords on fire and sewed them back into Jack Buck's throat with rabid, disease-filled razors that he borrowed from a veterinarian in an alleyway in Cuba. I can never say that again, by the way. So Jack, Hollywood, baseball in the car. So this is what Jack Buck said. Roger Maris on 61, to 1961. I don't believe what I just saw. Everything in this next verse is true, as my sister is sitting there as my witness. My allergies were bad, so we moved to the desert, to a city called Palm Springs. Trick-or-treated at Liberace's house. Each finger had a diamond ring. And we met Elvis Presley in the middle of the summer, and Elvis hugged my sister for far too long. Felt kind of weird, but I would have pimped her out just to hear him sing a song. Hollywood, baseball in the car. Hey, the voice of Harry Carey. Oh Lord, it always traveled really far. God bless Harry Carey, man. Man, he was a Cubs announcer, and when he announced those games, he would be drunk. Instead of just a ragged voice or reader tails, no, he would be drunk. Announcing the game was the greatest thing to hear him slur. He could not pronounce any Hispanic player's name. Like even a simple name in the 70s, like Davey Concepcion. The Cubs were playing the Cincinnati Reds. Davey Concepcion's coming up to bat, right? He goes, now how hard is it to say Davey Concepcion and Harry Carey? Dino Consiglione Steinberg. Cotswood! Now here I am, a growing up boy, at home on the 4th of July. Staring out at the ocean and the fireworks in the sky. I miss my friends who aren't around, the ones who passed away. I'm feeling kind of grateful here on Independence Day. Hollywood, baseball in the car. Hey, the voice of Tom Cheek, man who traveled really far. Man, Tom Cheek was the announcer for the Toronto Blue Jays. They were trying to win the World Series, a repeat performance. And I was with my dad at Palm Springs, my sister was there, and my mom. Man, Joe Carter comes up to bat, and if he can hit a home run, a 3-run home run, the Blue Jays will repeat as World Series champions. My dad was sitting on the couch. Blue Jays were playing the Philadelphia Phillies. Mitch the Wild Thing Williams was throwing 100-mile-an-hour heat. Joe Carter hits that ball and he hits a home run, and Tom Cheek made the call. It was beautiful because he goes, Joe was having trouble trying to lay off that ball low to the outside part of the plate, and he just went after one. Here's a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win! Blue Jays win, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. And as Joe Carter's foot touches second base, Tom Cheek says, touch a ball, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. My dad ran into the front yard with a Canadian flag wrapped around him, and he was naked. The neighbors called the cops. I think this is what it sounded like. Let's see here.
Joe has had his moments. Trying to lay off that ball low to the outside part of the plate, and he just went after one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on it. Here's a pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win! The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch a ball, Joe, you'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
And the voice of Tom Cheek, man, it'll always travel really far. We get allergies and asthma in the yard, and no one ever told me growing up would be so hard. Touch 'em all, Joe. Oh man,